If you become a patron, you can hear more audiobooks that aren't available on YouTube, such as Socialism with Chinese Characteristics, A Guide for Foreigners by Roland Bohr, Khrushchev Lied and Blood Lies by Grover Furr, a rare biography of Mao Zedong written by his most trusted bodyguard, and much more. Become a subscriber by following the first link in the description below. Thank you for your support. The Governance of China, Volume 4 by Xi Jinping. Part 15, Strong Armed Forces. Meet the centenary goal of the armed forces. Main points of the speech at the 32nd Group Study Session of the Political Bureau of the 19th CPC Central Committee. July 30th, 2021. The CPC Central Committee and the Central Military Commission have set the centenary goal of the People's Liberation Army, PLA, to be achieved by 2027. This is an important task that bears on China's national security and overall development. This centenary goal is the most crucial of the three steps to modernize China's national defense and the military in the new era. Footnote 1. This refers to the following three steps: realizing the centenary goal of the armed forces by 2027, achieving basic modernization of national defense and the military by 2035, and transforming the military into world-class armed forces by the mid-21st century. End of footnote 1. To realize this goal as scheduled, we must maintain firm resolve and a strong sense of urgency, and do solid work. Through a century of struggle, the party has reached a key conclusion: that the party must command the gun and build up the people's armed forces. This is a conclusion drawn from the war of blood and fire during the revolutionary years. Throughout the years of revolution, construction, and reform, the people's armed forces under the party's leadership have always borne in mind their original aspiration, founding mission, nature, and purpose. They have forged a path through brambles and thorns, won one victory after another, and achieved extraordinary feats for the party and the people. As long as the people's armed forces progress under the absolute leadership of the party, they will continue to grow in strength and provide firm support for the undertakings of our party and our people. A strong country must have strong armed forces, and only strong armed forces can keep the country safe. Since the 18th CPC National Congress in 2012, the Central Committee and the Central Military Commission have made strategic plans to accelerate modernization of national defense and the military, leading the armed forces to reach a new stage of development. On the path towards the second centenary goal of building China into a modern socialist country in all respects, we must give greater weight to boosting national defense and building a strong military. The development plan for the armed forces during the 14th five-year plan period, 2021 to 2025, has set the tasks for achieving the centenary goal of the armed forces. To build greater strategic capabilities, we must maintain the authority of the plan, coordinate all our efforts, focus on priority tasks, and press ahead with our work more efficiently and effectively. We will strengthen our military in line with the requirements of the battlefield. We will coordinate our overall development of the military with efforts to prepare our forces for the possibility of military action and to ensure combat readiness. The centenary goal of the armed forces calls for profound military reform. We should emphasize innovation, update our development philosophy, create new development models, and take a stronger initiative to ensure high-quality development. We should strive for greater strength and self-reliance in science and technology, make breakthroughs in core technologies, and accelerate the development of strategic technologies, frontier technologies, and disruptive technologies, so that technological innovation provides crucial support for the development of our military. We should drive deeper reform of national defense and the armed forces in order to adapt to global military development trends and respond to the requirement of greater strategic capabilities of our military. We should launch military management reform centered on strategic management so that our military system can function more efficiently and our defense resources are utilized more effectively. We should strengthen strategic planning with new ideas and measures to enable all-around improvements in the quality, structure, deployment, development, and management of our military personnel. Achieving the centenary goal of the armed forces is the shared responsibility of all members of the military, the party, and the country. Central party and government departments, along with local party committees and governments, must raise their awareness of national defense, meet the requirements of military reform, and fulfill their duties in national defense. We must take into full account military needs in our social and economic development, reinforce the defense functions of major infrastructure projects, and support the construction of important combat training projects. We will help with providing employment for spouses of our military personnel in the vicinity of their deployments, ensuring their children have access to education, resettling demobilized veterans, and guaranteeing other benefits and service for eligible recipients. Build a talent-strong military in the new era. Main points of the speech at the Central Military Commission Conference on Talent. November 26, 2021. Cultivating competent personnel is key to building a strong military. Talent is essential for our armed forces to achieve high-quality development, stand out in military competition, and seize the initiative in future wars. This is a real and urgent requirement in building our military into a world-class armed force, and will have a far-reaching influence on its development. Following the guiding principle of this year's Central Conference on Talent, we must further implement the strategy of strengthening the military by cultivating competent personnel for the new era. This strategy will provide solid support for realizing the centenary goal of our armed forces and ensure that the general level of our military personnel will be raised to the level of the most powerful countries. At the 6th plenary session of the 19th CPC Central Committee in 2021, the party summarized its major achievements and successful experience of a century's endeavor. It emphasized upholding party leadership over talent management, implementing the strategy of invigorating the country by cultivating talent in the new era, building China into the world's leading talent center and innovation frontier, and assembling the best minds across the world. In accordance with the above guidelines, we will plan carefully to develop capable service personnel for the new era. Since the 18th CPC National Congress in 2012, the CPC Central Committee and the Central Military Commission have implemented a strategy to build a talent-strong military. Keeping to the correct political direction and focusing on training for combat readiness, we have optimized the structure of our military staff for a modern armed force, furthered the reform of policy framework, and promoted open and inclusive management of service personnel. Through the above efforts, our military has made historic progress in this endeavor. As the world is undergoing an accelerating rate of change on a scale unseen in a century, new technology and military revolutions are taking place with each passing day. Our military is marching towards its centenary goal by implementing the new three-step strategy for the modernization of national defense and the Army. The armed forces must develop a stronger sense of mission and urgency in developing a solid base of competent personnel, create better plans, and act upon them faster. We must ensure that outstanding people buttress the effort to strengthen our military. In building a talent-strong military, we must implement the party's philosophy on strengthening the military and our military strategy for the new era, and follow the strategic guidelines for modernizing national defense and the Army. We must work hard to realize the centenary goal of the armed forces. To this end, we will upgrade the qualities and capabilities, structure and distribution, and cultivation and management of our military personnel. We will train high-caliber military personnel of both ability and integrity. We will ensure major progress across the whole Army and breakthroughs in key areas. In building a talent-strong military, we must ensure that the party exercises absolute leadership over personnel management in the armed forces in every respect and throughout the whole process. We must focus on the ability to fight and win. We must look at the frontiers of global military development, meet the major needs of national security, and serve the task of national defense and military modernization. We must provide comprehensive training and put talent to the right posts under a reformed policy framework for service personnel. In building a talent-strong military, we must coordinate all endeavors, covering training, job placement, evaluation, service, support, and motivation, and make breakthroughs in priority areas. We must develop military talent within the framework of state-level planning on talent and orient relevant plans, policies, and work towards meeting military requirements, leading to efficient management of military personnel. Political commitment is the most important criterion, and political integrity an essential requirement for our military personnel. We will strengthen education on political integrity and commitment in the military, and conduct evaluation of service personnel from a political perspective, so as to ensure their absolute loyalty to the party and the state. We will pursue independent development of competent personnel, mainly by the armed forces and also through other channels, and to build a distinctive Chinese model to foster more soldiers with greater war-fighting capabilities. We will redouble our efforts to improve the technological know-how of our military staff so that they can fight and win in modern wars. We will implement education guidelines appropriate to the new era, prioritize the development of military schooling, and to develop first-class military academies and military talent. We encourage our service personnel to temper their body and character in drills and operations. We will make effective and flexible use of talent in all fields and ensure precise and efficient allocation of human resources so that they can best play their role in the most suitable positions. We will adopt different policies for different fields, improve the training and performance of commanders for joint operations, new types of combat personnel, and high-caliber personnel for technological innovation and for strategic management, and leverage the strengths of both service members and civilian staff in the armed forces. We will find right ways to foster military personnel, identify their diverse needs for career development, and update our philosophy and approaches towards specialized, detailed, and well-conceived management. We will restructure the policy framework for military human resources and improve support policies and systems with trust, respect, support, and care from the military. Our servicemen and servicewomen will be more active and creative in work. The Central Military Commission must strengthen its leadership over human resources, and party committees in the military must fulfill their principal responsibilities. Leading officials, particularly senior officials, must be adept at identifying and cultivating talent. Central party and government departments, along with local party committees and governments, must act in concert to support the military in this field. Run the military in accordance with the law. Main points of the speech at the plenary meeting of the delegation of the People's Liberation Army and the Chinese People's Armed Police Force during the 5th plenary session of the 13th National People's Congress, March 7, 2022. Running the military in accordance with the law is our party's basic strategy in building and running the military, and a necessary requirement for achieving the party's goal of building a stronger military for the new era. This strategy must be implemented to strengthen the rule of law in national defense and the armed forces and provide a strong legal guarantee for the building of a strong army. Over the last year, the military has resolutely implemented the decisions and instructions of the Party Central Committee and the Central Military Commission and engaged in military actions, training, and development, providing strong support for a good start to the 14th Five-Year Plan, 2021 to 2025, and for the cause of the party and the country. Since the 18th CPC National Congress in 2012, the Central Committee has incorporated its strategy of law-based governance of the military into the country's overall plan for law-based governance. The 18th CPC Central Committee made important plans for running the military in accordance with the law at its 4th plenary session in 2014. The Central Military Commission made a special decision on the subject of running the military with strict discipline in accordance with the law in new circumstances. After an unremitting effort, major progress has been made in this field. At its 6th plenary session in 2021, the 19th CPC Central Committee decided to implement this strategy. This is an important decision made by the Party Central Committee based on the characteristics of the new era and the overall need to build a stronger military. It is essential to fully understand the strategy of running the military in accordance with the law. We must implement the party's philosophy on strengthening the military and the thought on Chinese socialist rule of law for the new era. taking into consideration the need to build a regular army that is revolutionary and modern in every respect. We should work on a military legal system with Chinese characteristics and accelerate the fundamental changes required to apply that system. We must improve law-based governance in building our national defense and the military. We must uphold the principle of the party's absolute leadership, take combat capability as the sole and fundamental criterion for our work, and to build a military legal system with Chinese characteristics. We should always run the military with strict discipline in accordance with the law. We should give prominence to the scrutiny of the key few commanding officers and uphold the principal position of the men and women in uniform. All of this should be part of our overall effort to implement law-based governance in the whole country. The implementation of the strategy requires integrated systems engineering. We should highlight priorities while taking a holistic approach and promote all-round progress with breakthroughs in key areas. We should accelerate legislative work related to the military, improve relevant policies and systems, increase the quality of legislation, and make sure that it is systematic, integrated, and coordinated. We should implement rules and regulations properly, especially those concerning joint military operations. We should carry out law-based management over military training and conduct the training according to set programs. To ensure effective implementation of our programs and plans in building the military, we must intensify the management of troops in strict accordance with the rules and regulations. To ensure effective implementation of rules and regulations, we should intensify supervision of the implementation process, clarify the subjects of responsibility, define evaluation criteria, improve the supervision mechanism, and tighten the accountability system. When conducting foreign-related military affairs, we should emphasize the rule of law, coordinate the planning of military operations and battles on the legal front. We should update foreign-related laws and regulations concerning the military and to better protect our national interests. We should pool our strengths to implement the strategy of running the military in accordance with the law. The Central Military Commission should exercise the best possible leadership. Units at all levels must conscientiously perform their duties and fulfill their responsibilities. The legal affairs departments should perform their functions with diligence, and commanding officers should take the lead in fulfilling their duties in accordance with the law. Central party and government departments and local party committees and governments at all levels should raise their awareness of the importance of national defense, conscientiously perform their statutory duties for national defense, and provide strong support for military operations, building up the armed forces, and protecting the legitimate rights and interests of military personnel in accordance with the law. The military should make unremitting efforts to strengthen military preparedness, provide assistance to local governments in maintaining overall social stability, handle all kinds of emergencies promptly and effectively, maintain national security and stability, and complete all the tasks entrusted by the party and the people. End of Part 15.